Hello, welcome to DaeseTime-Episode 0. Just gonna start by saying this is about the third time that I've done this particular episode. This is what I call the test episode. And it's the first time it was 15 minutes I got into, and then for some reason my brain just quit, and that was it. Like, I was just like, nope, I'm not gonna do this, not gonna use this one. Second time, I had a full episode recorded, and I kind of liked it, you know. It had its ups and downs. It's a work in progress for sure, but I ended up only recording into one ear, so I recorded in stereo and not mono, and that was my fault. So this is my third attempt, and hopefully this one goes well. So I'll start it out how I started out the other ones, and kind of explaining first what DaeseTime is, so that way you don't have to wait to figure out exactly what you're going to watch. So this is kind of like a scuffed reaction video. So at the end of every DaeseTime episode, there'll be a video that I've picked out, or that, you know, maybe if this grows an audience, then someone in the audience will tell me about. And at the end of every episode, we'll react to not the whole video, but parts of the video that maybe I'll agree with, maybe I won't, whatever the sort of format turns out to be according to the video. And then it's also scuffed podcasty, because it's just me, but it'll be me talking about certain points, maybe, you know, a specific song. Maybe I want to talk about my lyrics or whatever, or I want to talk about plans, whatever it is that I want to talk about. It's kind of this portion of it, and it'll be very unedited. It's very raw, because the idea behind this is to have a different avenue to hopefully build up a little bit more of an audience instead of just the music, even though music will always be the focus. But it is also to connect in a way that just releasing music can't. You know, music has, at least for me, it has this emotional or mental effect, and you can connect with people through it, sure, but it's not very one-to-one, or you can't expand upon everything that maybe you'd like to in a 4-minute song. Sure, I could make like 12, 20-minute songs, but nobody's gonna listen to those. And so that's kind of most of the ideas behind this one. This potential series is to just kind of have this long form content to sit back, talk to myself in a room, and get my thoughts out, and hope that people enjoy listening to it. Maybe they'll like my points of view, maybe they'll want to have something to soothe them. I don't know. It's whatever it turns out to be. I have talking points, and I probably will have talking points for every single episode, but it's very improv. It's very whatever comes to my mind. That's what's going to happen with it. And so episode 0, it's going to be called episode 0 for this one, because I have only a few talking points. This will be shorter than probably what other ones will be if it goes well. And so with this one, I've got my first talking point. I won't always have this horrible segue into everything, but my first talking point is going to be basically explaining me and a few of my goals, because I've been writing since, I don't even have an age. I just know it's around 5th grade, so whatever age that would be. And it was just writing poems, it was writing about dreams that I had, it was just writing down thoughts, and that's how it started out. It didn't turn into actual rhyming or rapping for a little bit after that, and I actually didn't come up with the name or moniker Daese until high school. So there was a few years of just doing this with having really no goal in mind, just kind of using it as an outlet, I suppose, for my middle school years, early days. And it turned into this because I just started to love getting certain content out, getting certain concepts out, and kind of putting, I believe, my own mark into what other people couldn't. And that's, I just enjoyed it. Specifically, I love all types of music, all genres. But it was gravitated mostly, I believe, to rap and hip hop for the factor of it, of you can get so simple. You can talk about, I don't know, like fucking women. You could talk about money. You could talk about this dude named Dave who you saw walking down the street and the clothes he was wearing. Or you can get super to the other end of the spectrum and you can talk about specific suicidal situations, or you can talk about how maybe an emotion festers, maybe how that feels. There's so much that, yes, you can do with every genre, but it's for me, I just connect more to the hip hop form of it. And I believe that, I just love it. So the culture of it, all of it. And so I believe that's why it was rap, hip hop overall. It also helps that I don't sing very well. So that's also part of it, but that'll be our secret. So that's a little bit about me, my early days, and it is Daese. I don't know if I had to explain that, but some people don't know. That's how I look at it. I don't actually know if it's a word, or if it's supposed to be pronounced differently. I did look it up when I made the name, and it didn't come up with anything in particular. It is an Urban Dictionary, I believe. It was called, I think, the emphatic version of a diss. I believe that's what it said. It's whatever. I was just making sure there was no other artist with the name Daese, and I couldn't find one. So hopefully that's not a problem, because I've been using this one in particular since freshman year, but making public music with it since 2017. And that will go into my next point, which is talking a little bit about the first mixtape and kind of the story that's leading up to the upcoming mixtape, which should be coming in November, around the end, if not sooner. It was called Orchestra, and it didn't have this huge concept. It was basically about just my life involved with a particular person and or people, without going into specifics of it. And that was basically what surrounded the whole concept of it. And the title track for it, Orchestra, was basically the summarization of it, like what all the feelings, what all the other songs led up to, and things like that. So it came out in 2017 when I had like this $40 shitty ass USB mic, and it was plugged in right to my computer, and I had Audacity, and for a long time I kept thinking, that's great, I have this tiny little setup, but I don't want to make anything with this. And it wasn't until I got into the situation in my life where I was, let's say, I found my muse, and I made that Orchestra project in 3 weeks to a month. It wasn't this long drawn out thing. It was just 3 weeks to a month, boom, made it, released, turned into this 40-minute mixtape thing. And the quality, I have it posted. I didn't actually post it back when I first made it onto YouTube, but I just posted it a month and a half ago onto here. Called it 2017 Flashback Orchestra Full Project, whatever. You can go look at it. It's the least viewed thing on this channel, which is interesting. But the quality, not gonna lie, it's pretty bad. But I'm not really that ashamed of it. I think that overall, with what I had, with the way that my life was, it was definitely, everybody has to start from a particular place. And I think that it's not really a bad thing. So while it could be better, absolutely, I'm fairly proud of what I had at the time and what I did with it. And so, getting into a little bit about my plans after Orchestra, I was supposed to make something that same year. So after I made that first one, I was feeling gassed up. Like, I was feeling super into it, kind of like how I am now, but life didn't work out that way. So At the time, Personal was my next idea. It was supposed to be my second mixtape, but it wasn't even called Personal at the time. It was called Personnel, as in, workers or whatever. I don't think I have to explain that. Nobody reads that stupid. So, it was, in its early thing, an entirely separate idea and concept of what it has turned out to be, and it's also come way, way later than it was supposed to. So, not in this episode, but maybe if this works out, and I feel like talking about it later. Life happened, and I didn't end up making music for years. I kept writing. I haven't stopped writing since I've started, really, years ago. But I wasn't recording anything, I wasn't making anything because of life. And I happened to, while I was doing that, still trying to upgrade the equipment that I have. So now I have, a fairly decent microphone, and I have a preamp, and it's not a studio setup for sure, but it's what I can do from the comfort of my living room. And it was a work in progress for sure. And so when I kind of became comfortable with the idea of making new music, really pushing this forward, and really, understanding that this is the only, I would be so happy just to make a living from music. I don't see myself being a Drake or being a Beatles, I don't think I'll ever have a legacy of that magnitude, but whatever happens. But I just want to be able to make a living from music. And when I came to terms with that and started to say, you can't just sit back and wait and expect that your lyrics are just going to jump from this page into people's heads and somebody's going to congratulate you for them. So I ended up learning about the equipment I had gotten, because I actually didn't use it. I just bought it and then set it up and was like, okay, cool, done. But I decided I needed to learn to use it properly. And so the project of what I actually have in the background is my second project. And it is, if you haven't looked, it is called The Prequel Is Sometimes Just Good. I don't know what I'll have on the screen yet, if I'll have this as on the screen or whatever, but it's on the channel as well. And my idea was, okay, I'm still, at that time, Personal had become Personal. I had the idea for it, the concept, but Personal I want to be my biggest thing I've made. If not the best project I made. Maybe not the best song, but my best overall thing. And so I said to myself, you really have to, figure out how to use this stuff and use it efficiently as well as you can, even if it's not studio quality. You really want to figure out how to use it. So I decided I'm going to make a prequel. I'm going to go back. And the prequel is sometimes just as good as a direct prequel to what Orchestra was. So every song is connected to one song from Orchestra, and it came out fairly decent. And I also made this one in a month as well. It wasn't this, no project for me is really drawn out that much. I can get it done fairly quickly as long as I have the concept and the motivation, which I feel like would be the similar thing for a lot of rappers or musicians, if I knew any. And so I was still a work in progress at that point. A lot of the things that I am doing now I can improve upon. I think that one of my biggest things I think I need to improve on is definitely delivery, and then probably a little bit of breath control. There's a lot of things that I can see about myself that I'm still going to improve on. No matter if it were to blow up tomorrow, I would still think that I have to improve these things. And definitely I would like to work in a studio I would love to work in a studio over this home setup. So if the opportunity ever presents itself, depending on the situation itself, I will definitely look into it. And so it's basically just talking a little bit about myself, and hopefully you've enjoyed that little part of it. I do want people who find this, who maybe haven't checked out the music, to check out the music. You know, like I said, the music will always be the focus for me. Like if this series blows up, or if any of my other ideas do, music will always be, you know, still something I'm doing. Whether it's just releasing it or whether it's planning the next thing. And so if you're finding this and you've just found this without knowing my music, I'd ask that at this, you know, you can pause it or you can go back later. Go check it out. Keep it in, you know, give your feedback, whatever you want to do. Just having listened would be awesome. So what you're gonna probably see now, if I decided to edit it or not edit it out, it is time to go and check and try the reaction portion. And so I'm going to quickly explain the video that I picked out for today, and it is this. It is the Pharrell and Rubin conversation on the GQ channel. And I did already watch this completely through, and there were two parts. I have two little segments I'll play and then maybe talk a little bit about if I have an opinion. And so I'm going to go ahead and play this segment. I do want, you know, I don't want to take away from the video. So this whole interview is fairly interesting. You know, if you don't know Rubin, he's a producer. Pharrell's also a producer, obviously. But you can gain a lot of knowledge from people like this, I believe. You know, people who have been making the music, who have been in the industry, especially, I think Rubin has been in this industry for a long time. I know that he did Rock the Bells, stuff like that. I actually think in one of my segments I've down, they do talk about that. But so this first segment, it's them kind of talking about, Rubin's asking Pharrell about the feeling of music and kind of like his, I guess, I don't want to say his process for making music, but the way that Pharrell goes about it, the music itself. So I'll play it and then hopefully have a little tidbit to say about it.
Shazam is a gift.
Yeah, game changer.
Game changer.
Yeah. So if you find one, what do you do with it? Let's say you hear something in that moment, you have that experience, you've Shazammed it.
Yeah.
Next, what happens?
I just want to listen to it over and over and over again. And really understand what I'm feeling and why I feel that way. Because there's a whole like university of science between what's being played and what you're hearing.
Yes. So you're analyzing yourself as much as the music.
Yeah. Because if you don't, then you're not really getting the proper assessment of what's happening.
Okay, so that's the first little tidbit that I thought, you know, for me, I definitely agree with Pharrell and how I invest time into music and how I really, you know, go about listening to music is something very similar. It's more about how it makes me feel and what it does to me rather than if it's super advanced. You know, like there's a lot of metal bands out there that are super mathematical with it. You know, they have silly advanced time signatures and they have these crazy kind of ways to go about music, but if it's not making me feel anything, I'm not going to enjoy it. And I found this point interesting because it's weird for me as a rapper to hear someone in the music industry kind of talk about that it's less like mathematical for him. It's less like a program. It's not just this thing that he puts into an equation and it comes out with it and he makes money off of it. It's, you know, it's still a life thing for him. You know, it's still a feeling. And I think that, at least for me, I'm not going to speak for anyone else, but I kind of, forget that sometimes, that, you know, the musicians still hopefully have life in their music, and they still do have emotion in their music. And that's the hope anyway. And that's what I'll do, hopefully, for however long that I end up doing this. And so now we'll go to the next point, and I'll play that. And then I only have 2 for this. But once again, if you want to watch this whole interview, I recommend you do. It is almost an hour, but it's nice to learn.
Like how bad I wanted the troop jacket. I wanted those chains. The music just literally transformed. It was doing things to our minds, shifting our perspectives, making us dance, making us run to the television to watch Yo MTV Raps for a glimpse of anything, any kind of slang. We savored it because those records were so good.
And this one kind of connects back. I should have explained. Right here, they were talking about the fact that I believe it was Rock the Bells that Rick Rubin produced or whatever. And they were talking about kind of how that, Pharrell was talking about how that changed not just him, but his city. And while it does connect kind of to how you go about listening to music, I think that this one is done from a different perspective, in that it's talking about how music can change you. You know, if you let it, it will make you a different person, whether that's a positive or negative thing, hopefully a positive. But music has a lot more of an effect than I think a lot of people let on, at least for some of the human population, that is. And so this was a little test. This was episode 0, as we'll say. And so hopefully this did go well. Hopefully it's enjoyable as sort of this conversation piece. It is very scuffed, but I will try to, you know, as it gains viewers, as I can invest more time or money into it, then everything will improve. And that's kind of the hope behind this and a few other ideas that I have that I will talk about later, or you'll just find out that I'm doing. And hopefully the reaction portion was good as well and interesting. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed Dae's Time.